Welcome to the GR Rideshare Adventures Podcast. Rideshare infotainment for the new driver, old driver, and everyone in between. Welcome to the GR Rideshare Adventures Podcast. Rideshare infotainment for the new driver, old driver, and everyone in between. Welcome to the GR Rideshare Adventures Podcast. Rideshare infotainment for the new driver, old driver, and everyone in between. Welcome to the GR Rideshare Adventures Podcast. Rideshare infotainment for the new driver, old driver, and everyone in between. Welcome to the GR Rideshare Adventures Podcast. Rideshare infotainment for the new driver, old driver, and everyone in between. Welcome to the GR Rideshare Adventures Podcast. Rideshare infotainment for the new driver, old driver, and everyone in between. Welcome to the GR Rideshare Adventures Podcast. Rideshare infotainment for the new driver, old driver, and everyone in between. Welcome to the GR Rideshare Adventures Podcast. Rideshare infotainment for the new driver, old driver, and everyone in between. Welcome to the GR Rideshare Adventures Podcast. Rideshare infotainment for the new driver, old driver, and everyone in between. Welcome to the GR Rideshare Adventures Podcast. Rideshare infotainment for the new driver, old driver, and everyone in between.
When I said for you to unmute, you didn't.
Woo, woo, woo. You ready?
Got 14 on. Yes. Oh, and then it dropped to 10. Damn it. 9. Michigan, right near the Gerald R. Ford International Airport. Their telephone number is 616-954-9200. We'll talk a little bit more about them right before we get to rideshare in the news. So,
And they also sponsored the giveaway.
woo! Oh, yes. We have a giveaway tonight, and we'll do that right around when we get to rideshare in the news. So, tonight it's Jesper, Jason, that's me, and Ben, and Gabe. Hi.
Oh, hey,
Wait,
Gabe.
Hey, Gabe. Gabe.
Here's your drink.
Here's your rock star I bought you.
Where you at?
Yeah.
Can't
Gabe?
see it's in the logo.
Maybe he just left.
There you go.
Is this better?
Yes. Yep.
All right.
Gabe,
So-
you missed out. We even got you a beverage.
I know.
Oh, well.
It happens.
Total
So,
rock star move to just not show up.
Sam, see, I'm already doing it. Sam says, "Are you sick?" I got to stop looking at those.
There you go.
There's producer Ben. So, anyways, yeah. So we are live tonight, episode 34. Do me a favor if you guys are watching this either on YouTube. I guess you can't really share YouTube, or Facebook. Please share it into the groups that you're in. That really helps us.
Yep, absolutely.
Grow. So share. Just hit the share button. Even if you share it on your personal page, we don't
And
care. So
Good evening, Samantha, Andy, Carlos, and Yvette and Larry so far.
Hey, Jim. Good to see you, Jim Stress Man.
There we
okay,
go.
guys. Stories. I have none. I did.
Well, you
even ride
you
share,
have
bro?
to drive to have stories.
I kind of feel like that needs to be a new T-shirt. Do you even ride share, bro? I mean, seriously.
Hey,
No.
can you turn me down in my earphones just a touch?
Yeah, hang on. Let me stop the whole show for you.
Yep, that's what I demand.
Thank you so much.
things.
I do have a story though.
good?
I have a story. So, last 2 weekends I only drove Friday because I had something going on Saturday. But Friday last.
You have things going on.
I do have a life and stuff. Yeah, I try
No.
not to drive all
No
the
way.
time. My son got confirmed last week, and it was pretty
I saw
cool.
that.
Yeah,
He was hilarious.
it was. He's like that. He's like.
All right. Anyway, back to your story.
Anyways, so that's why I couldn't drive Saturday. So the Friday before that, I took my last ride was a car full of drunk, probably I don't know, mid-20s boys from downtown.
For some reason, I thought when you said mid-20s in my head, I was like, oh, they're underage.
Oh, no, they were country boys. They were going to Marne.
Ah, okay.
And one of them, I mean, they were really nice. It was cool. They were enjoying my new setup, doing controlling the music and just listening to a bunch of country songs and just having a good old time. One of the guys was just really loud and pretty obnoxious, but I was just ignoring him. He was fine. It was all good.
Yeah, I mean, okay.
But the other guys was like really apologetic from this guy. Like,
There's always one in a group. There's always
I
the
know, right?
obnoxious guy. That's usually me. And then there's the apologetic guy. That would be Ben. Ben would be like, oh, sorry about my friend. He's just kind of loud.
So it was an XL ride from downtown.
Okay.
And it was just a little bit of a surge, nothing major. So it was a $27 ride out to Marne, but then they also stuck me a $20 cash because they thought their friend was so obnoxious. Well, I'll
They
take
gave
the
you cash because for obnoxiousness?
Yeah. Like,
Man.
they were fine, and it really wasn't that bad. But he's like, yeah, here you go, and so anyway, so that turned out to be a pretty good ride. But yeah,
Okay, cool.
so that was my only story. But as I said, I think it's working out well, this whole setup of letting people control their own music and car. Lots of people
Yeah,
like
so you
it.
use Pandora Premium?
Yeah, I have a premium subscription to Pandora. A lot of people actually looking up and finding YouTube anyways, which is kind of annoying.
Well,
But-
here's what's annoying. Why you use Pandora?
Why not Spotify?
Because like on Pandora, you can't even search for the songs you want, can you?
Sure.
Oh, you can with the premium?
Yeah.
Premium.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Makes sense.
All right.
And there's no commercials. So
Yeah.
I don't care. It's Spotify, Pandora, whatever. It just happens to be the one I had. So that was that. I thought about maybe looking into getting that stereo that you guys are using, so you can get something like that. I don't know.
I mean, here's the thing with I always say stereo, but legit it's stereo. It's spelled steering wheel. Yeah. I like it. I think the app works good. They're constantly working on it, so it is a really good company to work with. But man, the music, like, it's like the same 20 songs. Like, it gets so annoying.
Right.
Just like saying the word like. That's my verbal crutch I'm trying to work on. I'm calling it out to everyone. That's my verbal crutch. I'm going to try to work on it, saying the word like.
So Andrew, you mentioned you use Pandora. What I've done, as I said, my new setup is I got real quick, I got the Verizon Hum hooked up in the car, so I have Wi-Fi in my car and letting people connect to it. But then I have a tablet behind me where I have Pandora running and they can control their own music. They really love it.
So how good is that Wi-Fi? Have you had
it's
any
no
disconnect or
problems
anything?
at all.
No?
No.
Pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
Is it, I mean, this is nerd now. Is it 5 gigahertz or 2.4?
No idea. I don't know. I just know it runs really well.
Okay.
So yeah, definitely.
Cool. So,
And then of course Hum tracks all my mileage. I don't have to pay for an
and that's a
additional app for that.
Verizon.
Yes,
Verizon.
Hum.
And I'm sure they all have that thing.
It fits into the OBD port.
OBD.
Yeah,
port.
OBD
Couldn't
port.
tell you what that stands
Yeah.
for. Onboard
Diagnostic.
OBD.
So-
Onboard. Okay. For some reason, I thought there was an S in there.
So Andrew, if you already have a Verizon account, I pay $25 an additional. I think maybe it's only $15 every month for that extra. So it's like having an extra line.
Looks like Andy Hunt says he has the Hum too as well and love it. Cheap investment.
So $14 a month.
Oh, he says it runs 2.4 or 5. You can choose.
Okay.
Well, since it's such a low, I mean, because usually the 5 gets you isn't 5 get you a better connection, but it doesn't go as far. And 2.
I don't know.
How do you not know that? You're my like tech
'Cause
nerd guy.
I don't care.
You don't care. Okay. All right. Hey Ben, why don't you tell us about your story?
Yeah, I can do that. So on Saturday night, I was at the airport hanging out and got a request immediately after pulling into the rideshare lot.
That's the best feeling in the
Love
world.
it when that happens. It's like winning the lottery.
And there's like 8 other cars still
Yeah.
there, right?
You're like,
It's amazing. Yeah.
I don't know if the camera was on me when you did that.
It was not.
Oh, damn it. That was good.
It was. But so I got the request. I go to pick her up, start the trip. We're going to Holland. It did not tell me that it was a long trip or anything like that. I guess that's right on the threshold. But for those of you that are not local to West Michigan, Holland is essentially 30 to 40 minutes away, depending on what part of town you're going to. So it was a decent ride. And Tulip Time was going on in Holland, which is a big local festival to celebrate tulips and Dutch heritage and everything else. So you'll have to Google it because it's kind of weird. But anyway, I took her there. She flew in from San Jose on a whim to go to the last day of Tulip Time.
That must be nice to have that kind of money.
Right? I don't understand. But that's what she decided to do with her money. And I thought maybe she was performing there. Nope, she was just coming for the last day just because. So we get to Holland after about 30 or 40-minute drive. And she's like, do you mind taking me on a tour of the city? And I was like, okay.
Which city? Grand Rapids?
Holland.
Oh.
Back
So,
to
I had already accepted my next ride in Holland, so I had to cancel that. And then we just drove around the streets of Holland looking at tulips in the dark, looking at all the different bars and restaurants to go to, and just taking her on a lovely little tour. She said, don't worry, I will take care of you in the app. I'll give you a tip for that. And she did. Got an extra $15 for taking her on a tour of Holland to see the tulips at midnight. And I found out that the concession booths that sell those elephant ears, they're open until midnight or later. So I bought 3 elephant ears, took them back on the heated seat of my car,
Oh, my God.
and cranked the heat up to 90 degrees on the passenger side to keep them warm. And I met up with a few other rideshare drivers Saturday night and gave them the treat of elephant ears from Tulip Time.
I mean,
So-
it's just kind of a requirement. If it's any kind of festival, you have to have elephant ears.
oh, for sure.
Oh, my goodness. Well, that's...
It was pretty awesome.
I actually know the owner of the carnival out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
There's a carnival?
Yeah, so that's the carnival.
Oh,
the toilet
is
where
it
you
like
buy-
rides and stuff? Or oh, okay. The ones that you almost die in?
Scurbag Carnival, yep. So
What do you mean you know the owner?
I know the owner of Scurbag Carnival, like the guy who owns it.
Yeah, I don't...
That's how you usually define owner.
Oh, wait, is the camera on?
Oh, yeah. Snarky snark.
Oh.
All right. We're already on shenanigans. Okay. So let's just jump into our advertisements.
Oh, wait. Gabe, do you have any
Oh,
stories?
yeah. Gabe, tell us your story. Here, let me get your rock star ready. Shake it all up and give it to him. Oh, that dork. It's funny when you just randomly look at the comments and you see she sounds flirty. Oh, I thought he said filthy. Oh my gosh. So a couple of links. All our links now are in the description of our post. So
Right.
First up, we have a Facebook event coming up on June 29th.
Pretty excited about
Yeah,
it.
we're really excited about it.
Community event.
Community event. Yeah, we will. Why don't you explain that one?
Sure. So we are. It's going to be in a pavilion in a park where there will be a splash pad. So it's for all. It's for all drivers. It's meant to be a community building event. So for rideshare drivers, if you are local, great. If you want to come in from, say, Kentucky, awesome. And you can come in and kind of join us. It is on June 29th. It's from 1 to 5, but I'm sure we'll be there a little bit longer. We will provide the meats, probably hot dogs, burgers, that kind of stuff, and we ask that you guys bring a dish to pass. So good old.
You don't have to.
stuff. No, you don't have to bring a dish.
You can bring a bag of chips. There's no requirement.
There'll be tons of food, no
Right.
doubt. And bring your family along. There'll be lots of things for the kids to do, and just kind of hang out and have fun. Stay as long as you want.
And we'll obviously talk about that all the way up to the event. Next up is our newsletter. Who is our community member highlighted this month for.
Oh, Gabe.
It was Gabe.
Where you at,
So
buddy?
awesome, Gabe. You could come.
Anyways,
Wake up.
you'll see that in the description. Click on that. You can subscribe. It's once a month. It's just kind of Jesper's creative outlet. You kind of share some things, and we meet up with members or talk with members and stuff. So next up is
Wait. Larry is coming to the
Yes.
event. Thank you,
is
Larry.
coming from Bowling Green.
From Bowling Green.
okay, Larry. Do you want to sleep in my house? That I was trying to stop because I thought it was going to come out. Dude, that's why I went. I'm just going to go for it.
We'll figure that one out later.
Yeah, I have an empty room, so you're welcome to stay. Unless your wife's coming, you probably want to stay in a hotel. Okay, next
Anyways.
up, our GR Rideshare Telegram group. This is my favorite. We get to connect with rideshare drivers all over the country.
Yep.
The link is up there. Click on that. You have to I had Samantha tried tonight. You actually have to download the app first, which I should be telling people because if you click on it, apparently it doesn't work. You have to download the app, and then it takes you to the group.
Right.
So that's just a messaging group, just like what you need, another messaging group. But it has voice messages, which is really cool. So you can definitely just ramble on for as long as you want, and people yell at you. No, I'm just kidding. But it's one of my favorite things is that group.
Two things about that group that is just awesome. When you are driving, it is not nearly as lonely. You know, when you're obviously not having passengers, check in with the group. Obviously, make sure you sit still when you're doing it. Check in with the group, see what everybody else is saying. Make sure somebody else knows that you're out so they can check in on you and that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
if anything,
safety, right?
yeah, if anything, it's a safety thing. Just have they talk about a buddy. Most of the time, I tell the guys like, hey, I'm home, I'm good,
Exactly.
and then whoever's the last one out, well, if they die, no one knows because no one else is listening. But no, just kidding.
We'll find out
honestly,
the next day.
honestly, I feel in that group,
Yeah.
if you send a message in that main group, I bet someone is awake at least 24 hours a day.
We have I think we have around 20 members so far.
I think it's up to 30 or 24.
24 members.
Yeah.
And I think we have at least 6 or 7 different geographical areas
Yeah.
represented at this time. So
Yep.
it's pretty cool. Join in. It's a lot of fun.
The voice guy that you heard this as the intro, his name is Adam Grant. If you are into any kind of technical podcasting or YouTube videos or anything like that, check him out, adamgrantvoice.com. A couple of shirts. We have one that says "I'll tip you in the app," and then and Gabe even said tonight, "You owe me a shirt." You said if I was on the stream 3 times, I would buy you a shirt, and I told him tonight, I will buy you a shirt, but he didn't show up. So, I guess it.
Hey, Gabe, here's your shirt.
Oh,
Oh, wait.
he's not here.
I thought there was going to be a punchline to that. So check that out. Both those links for the shirt itself and the store is there. And then we'll jump one more. So Octopus Tablet is a great tablet. You can see our video on the channel. We're not going to promote anymore. That's a long story. But check that out, that link. It's basically a tablet that you put in the back of your car and you can earn extra money for people watching trivia and playing games and all that fun stuff. So I definitely need to get that video up, that review video. And the last thing I need to ask you guys, we have a Patreon account, and Larry's our only patron member, which we really appreciate.
Larry.
But
Hey, what's a patron mean?
a patron?
Yeah, what is it?
So
For those who don't know.
I was getting there.
Well, get there faster.
The monster has definitely hit the bloodstream. So a Patreon account is basically you can sign up for different tiers and you get different rewards. So right now I don't know exactly what the rewards are, but what I want to ask you guys, since you guys are our super fans that are on right now, what would you like to see in the reward? Like for $5 a month, what extra things would you want? Would you want behind the scenes video? Would you want behind the scenes audio? Would you want Ben and I to dance? I mean,
Definitely dance.
hey, if you pay,
I'm not dancing.
Topless dancer.
Ain't it,
oh
Ben?
wow,
You
that just
had-
got
You
weird.
had to go there, didn't you, Ben? Maybe we can get like a. No, anyways. So
Yeah, so we
what do
want
you want to see? What do you want to see?
Yeah, I want to. Hey, Tom, I want to kind of see what you guys want. Like, what would you for $5 a month? What would you want to see? Would you spend $5 a month for those certain things? So that's kind of what we're looking for, just to kind of support the show. I mean, all the content we give is 99.99999. Well, if you're not a patron, it's all free. So we definitely would appreciate the support. And yeah,
Yep.
give us some ideas of what you would like to see as a reward.
One thing we are still working on doing more of is product reviews. I know we've done one. We have a couple other ones we want to do. Obviously, you all know that we've been pushing the camera a lot for your safety. So it's just that kind of stuff. We want to continue to just talk about everything rideshare and share our experiences.
Yep. So I think we're it. That is all about the ads. Well, one more big ad. So we wanted to talk about CarStar again. Ben, if you can put that slide up, you're on top of it. So CarStar is a sponsor of this podcast for the next couple months, and we are doing a giveaway. And Ben will show that picture. Steve from CarStar Impact of Cascade, which is located at 36th Street in Craft, is giving away a wash kit. A wash bucket, tire cleaner, microfiber towels, soap, the whole 9 yards, wash mitt, and everything. So we're going to get through 3. After our 3rd topic, we're going to draw a winner. So you have to type what?
CarStar.
CarStar.
Yep. Type CarStar. You have to be local.
Yeah.
You have to be local to Grand Rapids unless you want to come up here and pick it up. But be local to Grand Rapids, and then you have to pick up the kit out at CarStar. Call him out there. Let him know. Mention the podcast. Mention you won. And then he'll have it ready for you guys.
Let's just do it 15 minutes, Ben. You can just interrupt. Otherwise, I'll get distracted, and it'll be 45 minutes later. So roughly 15 minutes, whatever you get to.
Do a hashtag CarStar.
Hashtag CarStar. So, cool. Well, Sam's in. Andy's in. All right.
Andy, never mind.
So, anyways.
Sorry, Andy.
Oh, yeah. Is he not? He's not local?
Apparently not.
Okay. So CarStar, amazing body shop. I've never used them. Ben's used them. Gabriel has used them.
Yep.
Hey, Gabe, how was your experience at CarStar? Oh, wait, he's not here.
That's all right. We love them. So yeah, CarStar does a great job. They focus. They're really ramping up their
detailing.
Yeah. So, and the one main thing about CarStar that's amazing is they have a bay open for rideshare drivers or really anyone that works with their car to make money. So you can get in there, you can get out the next day. Well, get in that day or the next day to get that repair started.
Right.
So
they understand that this is your way of making money.
Yeah.
And that you can't be without that vehicle for too long.
Right. So they are at 5566 36th Street in Southeast Grand Rapids near the airport. Their number is 954-9200 and ask for Steve. All right, let's jump into the news. First up is a video for. So this is I try not to talk about all the crazy stories all the time. You know, I try to keep it somewhat positive. So, but this one is about. Hang on 1 second. Mute the computer. Can you take it? Do you know this? Sorry, I'm typing something. I'm in a little crisis here. Just kidding.
Sorry.
No, just talk about the story.
I don't know.
Oh.
Sorry.
Anyways.
So in Chicago, there was a Lyft driver.
Thank you, Ben.
Who got into a little spat with a passenger. And little spat doesn't really do it.
Yeah, it was about the rating. She said she was going to rate her bed.
Give you 1 star.
Oh,
right.
So
okay.
the driver gets agitated and, well, just watch and see what happens.
Yeah.
It's pretty ridiculous.
A mother and daughter using Lyft. The ride did not go well. When mom told the driver she was getting a 1-star review, the driver hit the gas.
She ran me over. She hit me.
That mom talking to Just One Station about her nightmare ride. That mom is still recovering from her injuries.
Let's get out to the news station's Valerie Boy. She is live with more. Valerie.
Hey there, Luann. Well, deputies say they arrested this Lyft driver in her own car after running over one of her passengers.
I thought I was going to die.
Tanikia Bo says a ride to the store almost got her killed.
This is crazy. Lyft?
Deputies say Lyft driver Ilianexi Hernandez was the one that picked up Bo and her daughter.
She seemed like she was having a bad night, so I was like, I hope that your nights get better. And she just spazzed out again. She went to cussing and saying all these different type of words.
As Bo got out of the car when she arrived back home,
I aware her that I was going to give her a 1-star rating because her attitude was very nasty. Soon as I said that, she floored the gas, going straight back, and that's when she hit me and I fell.
and when she tried getting the tag number,
I was pinned between her car and the wall.
she says Hernandez sped off and came back again.
Hit the gas and telling us that she'll end our life tonight.
By then, a neighbor saw what happened and called 911. Deputies arrested Hernandez shortly after that.
Ms. Hernandez?
Yes.
The 34-year-old is charged with aggravated battery. Attorneys say this is her first offense.
You're not to have any contact with any listed victim.
I've been using Lyft for 2 years.
Lyft released a statement saying, in part, safety is our top priority and there is absolutely no place in the Lyft community for violence of any sort. We have permanently banned the driver from the Lyft community and have been in touch with the passenger to express our support. Bo says she fractured her leg and struggles to walk now. Still, she believes it was a miracle she survived.
I had just literally got done praying, like just got off my knees and called the Lyft and went to go to the store. That's God. Ain't nobody but God.
And Bo says that driver kept charging her credit card even after she got out of the vehicle. She's trying to get her money back. Live in Orlando, Valerie Boy, Fox 35 News.
Okay, we'll get there, guys. So,
As long as we don't talk, he doesn't have to mute those.
there you go. So we won't talk. But that
Yeah, right.
that's pretty crazy, though. I mean, as Samantha say, I can't imagine being that pissed, and I'm the same way. I don't know that I would ever be. I mean,
Well, I can imagine being that pissed, but not for like someone that's going to give me a
1
low.
star?
I'd be like,
You won't
okay,
talk-
if that makes you sleep better at night.
right?
I mean, it makes
exactly.
me sleep better when I 1-star somebody.
But it's just it honestly, in the first place, if she was in that mood already, she shouldn't be driving. It's
Yeah.
just, we talked about that before. If you're not feeling it, if you're not want to drive, then don't.
Yeah.
It's not worth it.
So Andy brought up, he called it himself. He's like, wait, we can't, or no, the driver tried
Yeah,
charging
no.
it. So anytime you hear a news story, I feel like it's 70% correct, like maybe
Oh,
even
yeah.
60. I feel like they get a lot of things wrong. So yeah, we can't charge their card. So
And as Samantha said, maybe she left the app running and didn't end the ride, and that makes more sense, absolutely. But who knows if that's really what happened? You
yeah,
know,
I
it's
I can't believe someone would get that pissed. I don't know.
no.
I wouldn't smash into somebody. I don't know. I might hit a curb because I'm mad with my car. No, I wouldn't, because that would cost me money.
Well, yeah, no, just go home. If you're that mad, turn off the app, go home.
Yeah.
That's
Time to take a break.
oh yeah. And Lori, yep, you're right. Pick your battles. Absolutely correct.
So next up is you'll see a picture. Ben shared this. This is my. Oh, sorry, I got distracted. My Uber made me late for work. If I rate them a 3-star, will I be kicked off the app? So it's kind of just an interesting. I don't know where did you get that from, Ben? Was it like it seems like it's like a one of those Yahoo questions, you know?
Yeah, it's kind of like Reddit. But
Okay.
It's called Quora. It's people basically post questions and other people can answer.
Okay, yeah,
But it's like it's screened, so it's not like Yahoo answers. Where
Yeah,
a
Yahoo's-
15-year-old can answer.
okay. So you have to. Is it like a kind of a rating system where you like people can
Yes.
rate you like,
Yeah,
oh,
so it's like
okay,
Reddit,
okay,
but it's questions and answers.
yeah. So why did you post this?
Why did I post it?
Yeah.
Well, it's
Oh, okay.
a
So
funny story.
yeah,
And the response was written by somebody that's familiar with being a driver. And I just like that he was taking the Uber passenger to task.
right.
Failure to plan on your part does not constitute an
emergency.
on my part.
That's
Right.
Okay, there we go.
Love that. So
Yeah, we'll actually talk about it later about Uber actually now punishing passengers for low ratings.
yeah,
So that should kind of
that'll-
ties in a little
We'll
bit.
see how that's gonna work, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know why they would.
So I have a quick question, real quick. Samantha says, "Cuss you guys out on Facebook." I need to know more about what that means, Samantha. Are you talking about us or what? Because come on, we're nice guys. Don't cuss us out. Anyways,
I don't think she was talking about that. I think she says people cuss you out on Facebook. I could be, but
More
it wasn't
like
us.
films.
Yeah, it wasn't us. We don't do that anymore. Okay. This one is just audio only. I had trouble getting the video. This is actually a local story about the strike, and one of our drivers in the Grand Rapids group was featured. So this is just the audio, though. So sorry, I don't have the video for you.
All right, audio coming right up.
Uber and Lyft drivers across the country putting down their phones and hoisting picket signs this morning in protest of low pay and lack of benefits.
Yeah, the rideshare strike comes just days before Uber is set to go public on the New York Stock Exchange, expected to bring in billions. Our Candace Charles joins us after hearing from drivers here in West Michigan. Candace?
I spoke to a lot of drivers today, some on social media, others in person, who didn't want to go on camera for fear of being bumped off the app. General consensus, drivers feel the companies care more about riders' concerns and they're losing money because of it. Rideshare drivers throughout the country standing on the picket line this morning in protest of low pay. Back home in West Michigan,
I only made 20 extra cents on 2.5 miles.
drivers say they're feeling the pain of that low pay.
There's a lot of risk that's involved, and our pay continues to go down for it.
Aaron Wiesner says he noticed the change in pay since he started 1 year ago, and it's starting to hurt.
We have cut our pay pretty significantly, and for a lot of drivers, this is their main source of income, and it's quite a big hit for them.
Protests coming after a change in surge prices.
Since I started around a year ago, from what I notice, I've lost about 50% of my income.
Recently, Uber has started pushing flat rates during busier hours to cut back on how much riders have to pay, much to the dissatisfaction of drivers.
This is also how we make our money.
Some drivers also want paid vacation and benefits that will come along with being considered a full-time employee, which driver Timothy Lockwood isn't for, saying that would change their title as independent contractor.
That's a bit far. It's the lifestyle you chose. So enjoy it, embrace it, and do what you can.
Uber and Lyft have both made it clear in their IPO filings if they change drivers from independent contractors to employees and start paying them higher wages and handing out full-time benefits, it would suffer. Some of the drivers here tell me the bottom line is the pay is not there, but the company continues to make large profits.
Pretty frustrating when you're completely dependent on it. I mean, it's my only source of income.
Very true for a lot of them. Now, this is not the first time rideshare drivers have logged off in protest, but they asked riders to also do the same and boycott the companies. Drivers here tell me they aren't sure how much of an impact the strike will make on the two companies, but they hope it will do some changes after the company goes public. I did reach out to Uber and Lyft about their commenting on this issue and haven't heard back yet. Of course, Uber will be going public on Friday. For now in the studio, Candace Charles, Fox 17 News.
I think so.
Okay, I gotta let you know. I was one of the many people who
Me too. I stood in solidarity.
I did not work for that Wednesday. I never work Wednesday, but that's the point.
So wait, I have breaking news from YouTube.
What?
The guy in the blue and white checkered shirt makes this show work.
Oh,
that's a comment.
What? Thank you so much.
That's from the Big FU.
Great. Maybe I should be a little scared.
Oh, my goodness. So, this strike thing, I want to hear if anyone did do it. I mean, legitimately done it. I'm not for it. They brought up in the article that they said, everyone wants these full-time benefits and all this other stuff. And I'm like, no, I don't want that. That. Why? I just don't understand. Here's the thing. This is the great part. I support them for doing it because guess what? This is America, and you have the right to do all that.
Absolutely.
It doesn't mean it's going to be beneficial. And I just think it's dumb.
Well, let's look at the other side too. And again, we are just talking about. I mean, and I'm not saying that it's not like that in some markets, guys. Okay, but in the Grand Rapids market, at least, I will say this thing. And Gabe, he would have, had he been here, he would have been,
right. He definitely had.
Gabe was very worried about it in the beginning after they launched the new flat surge.
Right.
But now he likes it because he makes more money.
Right. As a full-time driver that drives during the day and all week long,
right,
he makes more money.
But I can say, for me, my money had not gone down. Not other than the normal, going down because it's summer.
Right.
Which has nothing to do with the flat surge.
Right.
We've talked about it before. We said it before. It changes how you want to drive, and the end of the night. What's it called? Like the
bar close.
Yeah. The
adrenaline.
The adrenaline rush.
The unicorns.
Is gone.
Yeah.
Right. But we're still making them the same money.
I mean, the adrenaline is definitely gone, but even before the flat surge, it was already gone. In Grand Rapids, it had already gotten. I mean, for about 3 or 4 months, we would see like a 1.5 at bar close. Like that would be the extent of it, and it's like. I mean, whatever. But I do miss that. Like, oh, that was so fun. That's the whole reason I stayed out till 3 a.m.
Yeah, the $80 rides at 2 a.m.
I know. It was so worth it. You didn't care about.
But how often were they there?
Well, I mean,
in the early days.
In the early days,
absolutely.
Yeah.
But if you go back and look at the last year and a half before they went to flat surge, it wasn't there.
It wasn't. You're right.
No, I mean,
I missed the glory days 4 years ago. It
Yeah.
was such a moneymaker.
Andy says you have to adapt to the changes and drive smarter. The money is still there, and that is true.
Absolutely correct.
You're definitely not going to get the unicorns, but I mean,
it's not like Uber and Lyft is going away. We know that, right? I mean, not until at least we have actually effective self-driving cars, which might be a year or two still down the road.
That's it. I need to put my get on the waiting list. So go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say it's still gonna be profitable and it's still gonna be around, and yeah.
So a couple things. Looks like Samantha did the strike and Walter, but his logo is a trip logo, so I'm just gonna leave that there.
He
and then
emailed about sponsorship.
He wants to sponsor our podcast.
Yep.
Well, your money's good with me.
Right. We'll talk. We got your email, Walter.
And then Yvette did too. So I'm not hating on anyone that did it. It's just it wasn't for me. And even if I was a full-time driver, I'm like, I don't know. If you really, really wanted to hurt Uber, you would spend the entire weekend off your apps.
Right.
From Friday 5 p.m. till Monday 5 a.m.
Don't strike on a Wednesday.
Yeah, and it was only an hour at a time. So it was like an hour for like rush hour for the AM and the PM, right? So I don't know. I just it's just not for me. I mean, if you're don't get me wrong. The pay sucks at times. I mean, I think we should get paid more. I'm not against that, but I know I sound like such a government employee, like don't strike. But you're not an employee. That's the thing.
And the thing is, I think the thing that I disagree with, and I think Andy and I agree on this, obviously, which we all agree on, we are not getting paid less in our market. Some markets, yes, but not in our market. Uber is getting paid more. There's a big difference here.
Right. Everyone talks about the percentages and blah, blah, blah. We're getting paid the same regardless. Yeah, Uber's getting paid more. And again, it's okay for people to be pissed that Uber's getting paid more and they're not giving it to us.
Right.
I 100% agree. It sucks, especially I don't know why they did that. I feel like they shot themselves in the foot when they said, hey, we're going to now show you what the rider paid. Like, what an idiot. Like, if I was in charge of that, I'd be like, or if somebody was in charge and I was like on the board, I'd be like, that's stupid? Because then the drivers are going to see. You know, I know they were trying to be transparent, but I think it kind of shot themselves in the foot. So
a little bit, right? A little bit. So.
All right. Are we ready for the giveaway? I see the timer's at 0, Ben. Are you still working on that?
I need one of you, to pick a number between 1 and 5.
That's it? Only 5 people? All right. Well, we know it ain't Larry. Well, we do have a lot of out-of-market people, too. So.
Yep.
I'm going to go with a big old 3.
Wanda.
Wanda. I didn't even know there's a Wanda on.
There you go. So, Wanda, show up. Actually, give them a call out at CarStar Impact of Cascade and mention the podcast and mention that you won. And then ask to talk to Steve, and you can set up a time where you can come pick it up.
Yeah.
And I will reach out to you on Messenger and send you that information, so you can stay tuned for that.
And Yvette, I am sorry you were here first.
It was just a random. So real quick, Sam brought up an article, and I just didn't want to. I mean, I read it, and it's stupid. or the article is not stupid, but it's kind of the same thing. There was a war criminal that was driving for Uber and Lyft. He didn't have a record, but if you Googled his name, I don't know if somebody just was tracking him or what, but they Googled his name, and there was tons of articles and videos about this guy being a war criminal in a certain country. I'm not sure. I don't know. It's just I feel like every time we do the news, it's always shitty stuff. You know what I mean? And I tried. Right. There was already some shitty stuff, so I kind of took it out of there. So. I forgot to mention at the beginning, all our articles that we talk about are on our website. I did that today. Everything's posted. So
there you go.
If you
what's our website?
GRRideshareadventures.com.
Or if you're lazy, grrideshare.com.
Yeah, both will get you to the right spot. And just click on in the news, and you can read all these articles.
Read all about it. And by the way, also a little commercial for Grand Hammock Civic Theater. Newsies start soon. Anyways.
Thanks for that.
What does that have to do with anything?
It's news.
Apparently, Wanda is Sam's mom. That's hilarious. Okay. Next up, the guys were talking about this already in the chat, but Comfort. Uber Comfort. So it's basically between an X and an XL, but I think the pay is a little bit more for the Comfort than it is the XL.
And then is it also Comfort that has the new kill the sound option?
No. That's later on. That's Uber Black.
I thought Comfort had it in some markets.
I didn't see that, but I think this is a fabulous idea because I've always talked about, can we have an Uber that's like, I don't care if it smells like pot in your car. I need to get to work. I don't care kind of car, which could be the Uber X. And no offense to everyone that drives Uber X. I mean, I do too, but I have an XL too. It has nothing to do with that. It just, I think there needs to be a level of Uber where it's like, again,
Uber economy.
Yes. No, perfect. That's perfect. I mean, they have Uber Pool, but like in our
Uber, you can use it. It's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. It's not a verbal trademark. You may use it. So yeah, I think that's a great idea because I feel like there's some people like do not care if there's McDonald's wrappers on the floor. I just need to get to work. And then there's Uber X, and now there's Uber Comfort where people will order an XL. I'll get an XL. It'll be one person, and I'll ask them. They're like, I just wanted more legroom. So
I have the same. I have XLs who are like two people.
Yeah. The problem is though, I don't think I would qualify, even though my car is in good shape. My Pilot, it's a 2010. I think it has to be like only 3 years old, which is kind of crap, to be honest with you, because I don't think you would qualify either, would you?
It's a 15.
Oh, is it a 15?
Yep.
Oh, it looks like a 2.
Hey.
I mean, geez.
I'm not talking about the Mazda. I'm talking about the van.
I think the Mazda looks better.
No, it does not. Be nice.
Right. Andy says Comfort ensures that you're not getting a small compact car. But I think the price is either, I should have looked at this, but comparable to an XL. So I'm like, I don't know what would be the difference. I'm not sure on that, but I think you'll have to just Google it, and it's not in the. I don't know where Yvette is. I think she says she was in Tennessee.
If you look up your local hub, Yvette, and go talk to them.
Actually, I think she's local, but I don't know.
I don't think she is. I think she said she was out of
loco in La Cabeza.
So that was why she said. Anyways.
No, so I saw her say something about
Thanks,
Tennessee,
Michael.
But I think it's great. I wish my car would qualify if it does come here. But I would take. See, I ended up like if I would go to Detroit, I would never take an Uber X, and I'm not bougie, spelled either way. I just don't. I want an XL or a Select, just because it's got more legroom, it's more comfortable. Especially, if I'm taking my wife out to the town. I don't want to show up in a Festiva, Ford Festiva. Is it Festiva or Festia?
I don't know.
Festiva. But anyway.
Festiva.
Is it Festiva?
Like Festivus.
Like Seinfeld's Festivus. So anyways, Uber Comfort, I think it's a great idea. I'm liking these prices. Did I have pictures for this, Ben? Are they up? You probably didn't share them, did you?
Comfort rides?
You did not share them, did you? This whole time we were talking about it, you did not share it. True or false? True or false?
No, he did not.
You're busy running what?
A contest.
Oh, my
talking
goodness.
to people.
But you're done.
But look at these prices, guys. Like $40, $40, $30.
I'll take it.
I'll take it all day long. This looks like it's in Baltimore, man. Ben with monsters, I'm telling you. Capacity 1 to 4, so that's interesting. Order comfort, you don't. It's not necessarily an XL. So
Ford Fiesta. So, so Carrie, you're saying that Uber website has a list, and you're right. That Uber do have a list of vehicles for what they approve for or not. But sometimes the local hub will override based on the market and how many cars that are there. So it's always better to talk to the hub as well if you can.
Yeah, sorry, I'm chatting on YouTube. There's quite a bit of action on YouTube, so I feel bad leaving these people in the lurch.
YouTube, or maybe I should go to YouTube. So
Foxy wants to know what kind of energy drinks we drink, and I'm like, I typically drink always Monster, but typically not Mean Bean. I tried the Mean Bean because it's less burpy.
So, and I usually drink the double shot mocha, but apparently somebody didn't get my order right. So tonight I'm drinking vanilla.
Gabe, what do you drink?
Oh, wait.
Rockstar.
You're not here.
Man, Ben is going hard in the paint on Gabe.
And my energy drink of choice is the Monster 0 calorie. They came out with a new flavor. It's green. It's like watermelon, but then it's not. It's just really delicious. Wow. And I also like hazelnut M&Ms.
And they're all, of course, fully natural. There's nothing bad in any of them, and yeah.
Right.
Hey, there's 0 calories in mine, so that's pretty
all
natural if you ask me.
The sugar, the
it's
fake
like drinking water.
The fake sugar that they put in there will give you cancer, but
anyways, moving right along.
All right. Next up is the Uber IPO.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Uber. The worst performing IPO in U.S. stock market history. Now, if you read the article, the title is so clickbaity because actually doesn't really. It wasn't the worst. It was like, what did it say? Uber's 7.62% decline since hitting the market makes it bigger than the first day dollar losses of any prior IPO. So it's kind of semantics what they're saying, but bottom line, it was crappy. So did you buy any stock on Uber on Stash?
No.
You didn't? I bought $5. It actually went up.
Wow.
Since I bought it. Lyft's at I've lost 36% on Lyft, and I'll check it right now just for fun. I'm just curious.
Thanks, Walter. We'll be in touch.
Walter.
Well, he's logging out, so I can just say good night. I was like trying to be good.
Oh, that's very nice of you. Yeah, so let's see. Uber up 6.79%.
There you go. So
Lyft down 28.42.
Yep. No, I have not bought any on.
I
did see though that on my Coinbase that what is it called? That's almost doubled.
Coinbase.
All the cyber currency has almost doubled in value again. Cryptocurrency. Yeah.
Man, you are so loud when you get on that mic. Super loud.
I just think
It's fine. It's just really loud for me. What's the crypto name? Not the Google alphabet.
No. I'm not talking about Stash anymore. I'm talking Coinbase.
Oh, did you invest in?
I have $80 in Coinbase.
But in Stash? The app Stash. Is it in the app Stash that you invested in? Why is this hard to understand?
I don't know.
He's talking about different things.
I'm talking about Coinbase now.
Right, but I was saying okay, we're moving on. This has nothing to do with rideshare.
Absolutely
so basically,
Bitcoin. Yes, thank you, Larry.
Well, I know about Bitcoin. I just didn't know if you could buy Bitcoin on Stash. I don't know.
But you bought Bitcoin on Coinbase.
Okay. Oh, so Coinbase is actually the app or whatever. Okay. So, I got it now. Sorry. You were staring at me, daggers in my eyes no, that's love. That's love eyes you're sending me. So, the single-digit decline resulted in estimated 617 million paper losses.
But they'll go up again.
Yeah.
I mean,
I honestly see Uber doing better than Lyft. I said that from the beginning. Uber has a lot. Uber Eats, Uber Freight, Uber whatever the hell, Uber Helicopter.
I mean, how much of it was also isn't it around the same days where the China took down the market and that kind of stuff? All that happened at the same time.
Yeah, it happened. Yeah, you're right. It was the Trump tariff bullcrap with China.
Yeah, so who knows really what, it was just.
Yeah.
Anyways.
I mean, I just wonder, it was super frustrating when they had admitted that the drivers were going to take the hit on it. Like the CEO, is it Dara or whatever, said that. I was like, man, why'd you, you guys say the stupidest things. Of course that's going to get out to drivers, even if he was only talking to stockholders. Why would you say that? It's frustrating.
Okay, next.
Jesper's moving us right along.
Moving it on.
Did you want to talk about the Vantru update?
Yeah. So
that's
the camera. That actually is not on the website. So
again, it's just, and I'll take over because you'll talk about the next one. But just real quick, the camera we push a lot is the Vantru.
Yeah.
And there's there's an app. There's a firmware update for it that's gonna make it a little bit better.
Apparently, fixed the bug in the battery level display, exposure for the rear camera, optimized image quality, blah blah blah.
Yep.
How many days old were you when you learned that camera swivels? The back camera swivels.
Oh, on my Vantru?
Yeah.
It was a long time.
I just figured it out.
Are you kidding me?
No.
Well, it doesn't. It swivels up and down.
Yeah.
You didn't know that?
I didn't know that.
Day one, I learned it.
Wow. I'm glad I'm not, because it did take me a while to figure that out. I'm like, oh my gosh, this moves.
My son showed it to me. He started twisting it. I'm like, what are you doing? Don't touch it. He's like, it's supposed to move, Dad. See?
And don't you feel like such an idiot? You're like,
I definitely did.
Oh man,
for the win. That's awesome.
That is great. So yeah, check that out. Vantru does have for the N2 Pro, so not anything else has a firmware update. So it's important to do that.
And not that it matters a whole lot. I think they still say the biggest card you can put in is a 64 gig. We use 128 gigs. They work just fine.
No, they've changed that.
Oh, okay. Well, never mind. Then.
Yeah, you can. They support that now, so no issue.
They always did, but
well, I mean, they said that it would void the warranty if it didn't work.
Oh.
So, but yeah, they do support that now. So next up is a video about, I totally forgot. Oh yeah, it's about them Uber banning passengers. So basically, if you're a douche canoe, you're going to get punished, and Ben will play that video.
So don't be a douche canoe.
Bad behavior in the back of an Uber will be punished starting now. The app has just announced that passengers with consistently poor ratings could be booted from the app for up to 6 months. So what do passengers and drivers think about this? We find out.
I think it's a great idea.
Why?
Because if the passenger has a low rating by a lot of drivers, he's being unpleasant, or she is being unpleasant, inappropriate to the driver. The driver has just as many rights as the passenger, so should absolutely be able to do that.
Why should you judge me because of my rating? I just need a ride. Like, I'm not. You can't blame one situation and then kick me off an entire corporation that I've been giving money to. But you are your own business, so if you got to do boss moves, you got to do boss moves.
When you're driving the Uber, do you sometimes get passengers who are very bad?
As a percentage, maybe 5 to 10%. Yeah, but always I have seen the best.
The best?
Yeah.
And then if they are acting poorly, do you give them a bad rating?
Yeah, sometimes I give.
Riders and the passengers both have the same rights, So we are always expecting the good passengers. So that's a good thing, of course.
Taxi drivers not as lucky as Uber drivers.
After sitting in, when we got to know that he's like violent and he's like aggressive, they can harm us. So then we can have a right to just stop the car and go out of car and ask them to leave the car.
City bylaws state a taxi driver may refuse service if the potential passenger failed to pay once before or if they are unduly obnoxious or abusive. But seeing how Uber is a popular mode of transportation in the city, news of the new policy is getting a lot of mixed reaction.
Who decides whether the passenger was bad or not? The driver, right? So there's no quid pro quo, in the sense there's no proof. You don't know nobody knows why the passenger was bad.
So then do you think it's a good
policy? You don't
policy?
get a bad rating for no reason on Uber. I don't think.
Oh my, well it's very subjective, I guess, What makes a good a rider or not?
Oh, you have a 4.88 rating.
So what is that?
It's out of 5 stars. So
Oh,
that's
well,
pretty
I think
good.
I'm doing pretty good.
So I think you don't have to worry. You don't have to worry about getting booted out of an Uber.
All right.
You're good. Uber does say before passengers lose access to the app, they will get multiple warnings to improve their behavior. Muliha Sheikh, City News, Toronto.
Oh,
Okay, we're good.
You didn't.
We're good.
You just seen Ben's face. So I've had people that have had a low rating, or not low, like that lady had a 4.88.
Right.
And they'd be like, what did I do? Like they're freaking out at a 4.88. I'm like, I don't know. Maybe you slammed the door. And drivers can be jerks about that stuff. So,
you know, it reminded me of one thing. I was talking to Gabe and Pete about this last week. There was one particular passenger there's one. It's one guy that it's either Gabe or Pete just doesn't like picking this gentleman up.
Well, he's been a problem.
Yeah. And so whenever he sees that address, and this is particular for day drivers because you know this gentleman needs to go to work every morning and that kind of stuff. I think it was Pete. Anyways.
Well, the last instance was Pete.
Yeah. So so Pete won't pick him up anymore. And so I got to think about, and again, not that this is something I'm gonna write or anything like that, but would drivers use it if there was a fast way of check the address before they picked it up?
I like this idea. Let's try not to go too deep with it,
right,
though.
And I don't want to do that.
Okay.
Right? But it's just, you know, would it be beneficial if we had a way of quickly checking the pickup spot as to whether or not there was
a problem area?
Yeah.
I think it's a great idea. I mean, you'd have to be able to. It had to be all automated. It had to be something that you didn't have to physically go in and. Well, I mean, the driver would, but then after that, it would be done, and then.
Because we all know that there's constantly people like that use the service often for their children to go to school, or that they need rides and they don't have car seats or whatever.
Well, what you could do is, like, if you're like, you know what, that address sounds familiar. I think I should check it. You would check that database. Yep, sure enough, I'm done with that. I'm not going over there. You know what I mean? I think it's a great idea.
But the real question here is, should Uber and Lyft have it built in? You know, is this the first step in getting them canceled?
No, because then that's going to take money from Uber. They want to take every ride. Let's face it. That's just a fluff piece about them punishing riders. They don't care. They're not going to exclude an address. They'll get sued.
Well, but yeah.
I mean, you're right. It would be good.
But the passenger is breaking the rules.
Right.
They're breaking the terms and conditions that Uber and Lyft are putting forth.
Yeah.
You know, and yeah. So
I mean, if they do actually follow through, I think it's a step in the right direction. I think it'll make drivers happy. So, real quick, Foxy Lee Jones on YouTube is in Nova Scotia, Canada.
Oh, okay.
And she said there's no Uber and Lyft up there. So she was pretty stoked that last video was from Canadian news.
There we go.
We didn't purposely pull it from there, but I'm glad it made your night. So
and Yvette certainly makes us mad as well when parents just put their kids in unattended into drive car. And let's just one extra time say, drivers, don't take him. You're putting yourself at risk. If you accept that ride, who's to say that kid isn't going to make up some lie, because you basically put yourself alone with an underage person in the car, and it's going to be hearsay, particularly if you don't have a cam.
Yeah, we talked a lot about that
So
rapper
it's
that
just-
did that.
Yeah.
I should have pulled that audio of what bounce rap was. I forgot I was going to do that. So Andy think that comes down to knowing your market ultimately. There are areas I avoid for crime and even passenger encounters. Right. True. The problem is this one gentleman, I don't think it's the same house, and I think he switches accounts. So
it was his. I think Pete said it was his wife's account, but it was the same house.
Was it the same house? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, I know Pete knows now for sure to stay away from there.
Yes.
So
we should have him on as a guest.
Who?
That passenger.
Oh, maybe
seriously.
I know him. It'd be fun. I'll bring Peter in too.
I don't think Pete would.
Fight.
Yeah, we could go viral. World star. Next up.
Yep.
The back seat of a rideshare car carry more germs than a toilet seat.
Hey, Juan.
So Yeah, there's really nothing detailed about this. But when I first started driving for Uber, I would be diligent when I got done with my weekend to wipe the handles down and everything in the back. I don't do that anymore. And I probably should because my kids occasionally get back there, and that's kind of gross if you think about it. Like, how long does a germ stay on a handle? Like a flurm Jew. Flurm Jew.
Wow.
Flu germ. Man.
It's getting late.
That was weird. Yeah, I would just be curious how long it actually stays on there, because we should probably wipe our handles down every time we're done with a shift. But it says that according to the study by insurance company NetQuote, which says the average rideshare vehicle has about 219 times as many germs as the average taxi, which is cleaned regularly. Bullshit. I've been in taxis in New York, or not New York, but I don't know where, Chicago, I think it was, somewhere in a big city, and they were disgusting.
All the Uber and Lyft vehicles Michelle got into
were dirty and nasty.
Chicago were dirty and nasty, except one.
Yeah, see, that's perfect for Uber. Uber.
Economy.
Thank you, Ben. Producer Ben.
What are you talking about?
Isn't that a terrible feeling when you don't know what someone's saying and you're like, come on.
And Andy's bringing up a very good point. It's no more than any restaurant booth, bus, train, or anywhere else in public. It's like, here's the thing. Just wash your hands.
Yeah, and here's the thing.
Take regular showers.
People, if you write the word Uber in a story, it gets clicks. So somebody got bored and said, I'm going to make an article about how dirty the car is. So.
Yep.
We got one more. So Uber. Yes, we talked about this earlier. It's Uber Black launches quiet mode, which I think is a good idea. I'm not sure why. I think they did it for Black because they feel like more businessmen and women will be traveling in a Uber Black, so they're like, if they're doing busy work.
Okay.
And I know Lyft had beta tested the Zen mode. That comedian talked about it last week when we were live streaming, but I think they were just beta testing it. But I'm clicking on the article, but the internet when we're all online. Uber Black drivers are now supposed to wait 15 minutes after arriving before canceling. That's interesting. Yes,
wow.
I don't think
minutes?
I don't think we'll ever have Uber Black here. You guys that are listening and watching, is there Uber Black in your area? Quiet mode comes as a part of a new slate of rider preferences features that users can set up before they hail a Uber Black or SUV, but not while waiting for the ride or while in the car. Oh, so you can't so it's either on or off. You can't do it while you're waiting. So it's not like, so you have to set it in your preferences. So every time you get in the car, unless you change your preferences, it's set up as quiet mode. That's kind of annoying. What if you're in the mood to talk? Then you got to go into preferences? No one's going to do that. That's just weird. I don't know.
Right.
They have a temperature control in the settings. That is funny. So you can set in your preference. But then why, if it's hot? I don't know. That seems weird. It should be on demand. You shouldn't have to set it up in your preferences before you request a ride. Don't you think that's a little weird? Jesper's checking out. He's not. I'm talking to myself.
I'm here.
No.
I'm here. I'm also talking to a vet who carries handcuffs.
Yeah, I saw that.
I'm not even going to talk about that. That's weird. Let's see. Joe says Uber Black in where? Baltimore. Andy's in D.C. Lyft Lux Black as well. Yeah, that makes sense. Andy, are you an Uber Black as far as a driver? Hey, Dylan. Hey, I think Dylan kicked me out of the group.
From the rideshare hub.
Yeah, so I posted. I think he did. Yeah, he kicked me. He didn't kick me out of the group. He apparently I shared in a group that I didn't mean to. So I think this is his business, kind of like ours is. So I didn't mean to share it in there, and he immediately caught it as spam. So
the Uber Lyft hustle group.
No, that's
Sorry, Dylan.
that's bearded Uber guy. But I think Dylan's
Dylan happened.
So yeah, see, that is the guy. I didn't mean to. I know that's your jam. I wasn't trying to. I would just share to a bunch of groups, and as soon as I sent that, I was like, oh, he's probably gonna kick that out. So, But hey, man, we got to be friends. We got to like share the love.
Yep.
You know, there's a lot of airspace out there, and so anyways,
lots of talk.
I love checkout Jesper.
Hey, I'm not checking
I'm
out.
just
I'm here.
teasing you. All right, let's check in with YouTube. Oh man, I tell you, it's just Foxy. So
I'm a frickin' 5-star fairy, says Vaughn.
Hey, so what we talked about earlier, guys. What are the things that you think could add value as a patron? So what are the things for that? We'd also like to know things that you guys want us to write about on the blog. So give us ideas.
Yeah, I'm not writing. Just to let you know, it's Jesper and Ben. So that is it for Rideshare in the news. Thank you for all your feedback, all that stuff. And we're going to jump into tip time. This is written by Ben. It's sponsored by Vanture Camera. We talked about it earlier. I don't know if there are links in the description or not, but if it's not, I'll add it up there at some point. It's such a good camera for $200. Sometimes you get on super sale, and I think Peter got it for pretty cheap.
Yeah, they do these promo codes randomly on Amazon.
That too, and then like Newegg, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So check out those two sites.
You want me to do the tip?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Hey, everybody. Producer Ben here with tonight's tip time. This is something that I kind of changed my tune about, and I'd love to hear your feedback. You've heard of all the stories in the news on our podcast about all these crazy, ridiculous things that are happening to Uber passengers. It's gotten to the point where Uber passengers are now asking the driver for the driver's name before they get into the vehicle. Now, in the past, up until recently, my rule of thumb has always been, I'm not telling you my name, you need to tell me your name as the passenger. But in light of recent events and in light of what the news is saying, and even what Uber is coming out and saying, it's kind of flipped. So when people ask me for my name before they get in my car, I'm a little bit more understanding now. I will answer them and I'll tell them, I'm Ben, are you so-and-so? Or I'll say, my name is Ben, what's your name? And then I get to double check as well. So my tip for tonight is kind of rethink your approach to confirming your passengers. Because of recent events, they are understandably less trusting, and they're going to be checking your license plate. They're going to be asking you for your name. Don't get annoyed by it. It's just safety first. And so, yeah, that's the tip for tonight.
Yeah, I hate this new thing. I talked about last podcast, the blind woman that said my car was silver, which I kind of like because then it maybe go in the hub and get it changed. But it is getting, I mean, I appreciate everyone being more safe, but it is kind of annoying.
Andy says, I asked them for their name, and when they said their name, I introduced them. I've always done it the other way around, and I've had no issues with it. I always do the, hey, are you so-and-so? It just gives a better intro, I think. And I match them up and make sure, obviously, double check the address and all that stuff. So I still do all the things you're supposed to, but I kind of start with asking if they are so and so.
Yeah, I know Uber has upped their safety. With the what does it say for the passenger? Please check the plate, the color, and the driver's name. So it's worth it if it keeps some people safe. It's worth it to me.
3 other guys do it last weekend. Check my plate.
Well, and let's face it, us humans are kind of slow to adapt, but if a text pops up, you have to address it, right? They make you address it before you move on, so it's kind of nice that they do that.
Right.
So I want to hear less stories. I mean, again, I think a lot of it is clickbait. There's not as many, the percentage of rides that go on every single hour compared to what happens.
I'd like to understand how often the checks comes up and with the are you in, are you in so and so's vehicle?
Yes.
And do you have so and so in your car? I'd like to see how often Uber and Lyft is actually doing that.
Yeah, I haven't. I think Peter said he had it happen 6 months ago, and then it never happened again. So, Samro, I agree with the blue shitted gentleman. He meant shirted. That's Jesper Vaughn. Jesper.
Thank you, Vaughn.
It's pretty clean. It's not shitty. So
Yet.
Not
hey,
yet.
Hey.
Sam said she had a few dudes, but lots of girls that checked the plate.
That's another thing. Is there a difference for female drivers and male drivers? Is that a difference?
You feel more secure?
Yeah.
Well, look at the lady that ran female drivers are just as likely to go cuckoo as male, but I just think there's more male drivers than female.
Sure.
So,
I still had like 2.5 years ago. I took somebody to Rockford, and she was like, "Yeah, I signed up for become an Uber driver, and I'm waiting for it to get accepted." And then she started talking about how she was gonna make a plexiglass box around her.
I mean, you could do that. You could put a insert in. I don't know why you wouldn't be able to.
No, I know, but she was gonna
it's a lot of work. I think maybe try something else. Maybe work at the dollar store or something.
Maybe not drive Uber.
Something that's maybe not too scary for you.
Right.
Okay, we're gonna jump into questions and then wrap this B up. What are we at there for time?
Oh, we're good tonight.
We're 117. No, we're right on pace.
Okay.
I'll do the first one. You can do the second one.
Yep.
So this guy. So some of these aren't really Facebook questions. It's just kind of statements, some of them. So this guy, I think he was in most of these are in the Grand Rapids group, but said, okay, this one maybe it wasn't, but anyways, okay, here's my new strategy. When I'm done with my shift, I go in and rate everyone 5 stars. The next morning before I start my shift, I go back in to yesterday and remove a star from everyone who has not tipped. Honestly, there is no way a PAX who doesn't tip deserves 5 stars. If enough drivers did this, it would help identify the deadbeats a bit more. Now there's 100. I just have a screenshot of this, but there's 104 comments, so it definitely was one of those hot topics. So what do you think of that? I mean, it seems like it would take you 20 minutes to do that, where you could be out there riding. Do you think really a passenger is going to be like, oh, I got docked a star, so I'm going to tip?
I gotta tell you, it's gonna take a lot for me to not tip somebody 5 stars, not to do somebody 5 stars.
Yeah, 99% of my rides I 5-star. But I admit I will be petty. If someone pisses me off, I will dock a star, and if somebody really pisses me off, I will actually dock a couple stars and actually submit a comment to Lyft or Uber. More Lyft because it's easier. I think it's a little clunkier with Uber.
Well, I mean, with Uber, you almost the rating, and then you accept and be done.
Larry says he gets tips a week later. I do too.
But
yeah, Peter brings up a good point. They have no idea why you got docked a star. If you could put, I docked a star because you didn't tip, that I don't even think I would type that.
And do we even know who docked the star?
Right, yeah.
Matter.
That guy's, now that we talk about him more, he's dumb. I thought, he's dumb either way, but yeah, now that I think about it, like.
And Larry, you're right. I mean, Larry says I rarely give less than 5 stars. There's only one reason why I will ever give less than 5 stars, I think, and has been, is I will give a 1 star only because I don't want to get matched up with them again.
Yeah.
And that doesn't even always work.
I mean, I've even rated throw-uppers as 5-star because I'm like, especially if they're like, oh my gosh, I mean, you're getting money for it, so that's even better. But I don't go back in and I don't want to be paired up with them again because he just had a bad night. I mean, It pisses me off, but why rate him terrible?
No.
Now if they were all assholes about it and it was just a disaster, then I'm going 1 star.
I had one night where I had 2 girls in the car, and one of the girls was just so drunk that she puked out the window. And I didn't even report it because the other gal was so nice, and she ran into the house and she came out with cleaning supplies and cleaned up everything. So okay, perfect.
Yeah, I was
back on the road in 2 minutes.
Yeah, I would rather have someone clean it up than even. I want the fee, but I want to just keep driving. I don't want to clean up puke.
Absolutely.
Jesper tries to get people to puke.
I don't
but
do
he
that
hits
anymore.
curbs and he tosses. You should see him. I mean, if you guys get him as you're a passenger, look the hell out because you're dead. You want to take the next question statement? It's, I have a great Monday idea.
There you go. I have a great Monday idea. How about those who beep day after day after day just stop driving if they are so devastated about Uber and the way they pay? First of all, you are a 1099 driver, which means you are contracted. You choose to continue. You are not an employee of Uber. So my advice to you is to
shit
or get off the pot. Nobody gives a damn. Go cry to people who care and stop being a little bitch. Post that negative bullshit on your own wall.
So this,
and I was just reading it as it said. I'd like to point that out.
No, you got to use the swears because it makes it great.
Right.
So this is from, I actually wrote the names down. This is from our local group. Her name is Amy.
Right.
I didn't see a lot of posts from her. So I just thought I kind of agree with her.
Oh, yeah.
I kind of agree
It's
with her.
just-
That's why I used it tonight.
I don't even go into the groups in the day anymore because that's all people do. It's like, oh, they talk about now they get less people, they get less drivers. Just stop driving then.
It's one thing to complain once and be like, okay, I get it. I don't want people to treat the group. I get it. It's a place to vent. It's a place to, talk about your frustrations. But if you talk about the same thing day after day after day, Alex Cool, day after day, you're going to have trouble with that. And people are going to you're not helping anyone in the group by doing that.
No.
And
you're just creating animosity in the community, and do we really want that?
Right. And Amy didn't really, this doesn't help either because, it does and it doesn't. I mean, she's kind of bitching about bitching. So it's kind of one of those things. Like, I just roll on to the post. I just move on. I just like, whatever. I don't have time to read this. So, let's see.
Driver cabs.
Yep. Sorry, I was looking at comments. Driver cabs. This is from Joel Vogt. He comes and goes in this group. He'll be gone for 6 months and then pop in. So I'm reading this as he wrote it. So I am a bad reader, but by the way, you did good on that.
Well,
I'm really impressed with you.
Thank
It's
you.
probably because it was in bold. Okay, so I'm reading it how that was a crap sandwich, like a compliment, but then or whatever they say, a shit sandwich. Okay.
A compliment sandwich.
Well, I don't think it was. Okay. So driver caps, a.k.a. I'm willing to use okay, I think this is in reference to Uber's maybe IPO or what they're doing. Driver caps, a.k.a. I'm willing to use violence to prevent other people from making a living so that I can keep more money for myself. Furthermore, I'm a pathetic coward, and I will hire government lackeys that are funded from other people's tax dollars to do this for me. I am too cowardly to enforce the rules myself. I just want to make more money and not think about the people I don't care about. I like more money at the expense of other people making nothing. So I assume he's talking about the CEO of Uber.
Oh, yeah.
But what does he mean by I will hire government lackeys that are funded from other people's tax dollars to do this for me? I'm too cowardly to enforce the rules myself. I don't understand what that means. Does anyone know? No?
Yeah.
Is Ben sleeping?
Who knows? So, Joel, maybe if you, we don't know what you mean.
Man, Palka and Peter got my joke in there. I thought I said it too quick. Yeah, I don't know what that means with the government involved. But anyways.
I have no idea.
I don't either. Maybe.
The government might bail them out on the stock market?
I don't know. I hope this isn't a GM situation or Ford or whatever. You want to grab the next one?
I will, but let me just reply to one. Andy, how would you feel about them cutting the driver referral program if it translated into freeing up income to increase fare rates? I don't think it would. I'm totally fine with it. The referral program in Grand Rapids is non-existent.
It's $50.
Yeah, it doesn't matter, right? And there's too many drivers out driving anyways, so...
Well, Andy brings up a good point. We talked about this, I think, last podcast. Would you be willing to earn $20 an hour flat rate? Like, that's what you earned. It's kind of the same thing. Like, it's just kind of this hypothetical. I would not be willing to do the $20 an hour, but I definitely would be willing to give out the referral because, you've kind of tapped out your market. Even if it was $1,000, do you have anyone that you know that you would share it with? No, exactly. You might randomly get a rider that says they want to drive and do it, and that's never worked out. I've tried it. They all sign up, and they never follow through.
True.
You've had two?
Yeah, it didn't work.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant you had two follow through. I'm like, that's amazing.
No. I had one follow through ever, but that's it.
Yeah, but I would definitely, what Andy said, I would definitely do that. That would, if it increased, even if it increased it by 10 cents.
But as Carrie says, we wouldn't see that money.
Yeah, that's the problem. Ah, man. I always keep saying, like, if they take, I remember earlier when we first started this podcast, I'm like, if they get rid of the surge, I don't think I'm going to drive anymore. But I'm still driving.
But they didn't get rid of the surge. They changed it. Andy, you're right. I'm also averaging $30 at least when I'm out driving.
Right.
So it's just
if you're working,
drive smart.
Andy's like, no, I'm making 30. Yeah, I mean, are you making 30 during the day and the weekday? No, you're in Grand Rapids. You're not. I can guarantee it. If anyone tells you that, they're lying. I mean, I've been out there during the day. Not that I'm the end all be all, but I've been around the block a few times, and I'm able to. You are distracting me. Stop playing on Google.
Right.
Let's see.
But treat it as a job.
Yeah.
Go back out, and that's it.
Well, I think Andy or somebody earlier said, just you're gonna have to change up the way you do it. Like you just gonna have to drive smarter, which we all kind of figured out what we have to do.
Right.
Like when it's surging downtown, I want to do 1 mile rides because I'm picking up these $3-4 here and there.
Yeah.
I don't want to do a long ride because a long ride with an extra $2 doesn't mean diddly squat.
Right.
So you just got to be smarter. So.
Oh, and then for the part-time riders as well, the thing that is hard to calculate, but you have to take it into the consideration, is all the tax benefits as well. That's it.
In regards to
when you drive,
Your tax
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Last year I got to deduct almost $8,000.
Yeah.
For my taxes, and so which helped me on my other job. So it's that.
Pelka says focus on tips. I have noticed the tips have increased. You know, they talk. Oh, I know what I wanted to bring up. That Uber Black mode or where you're silent. That's where I get my tips. Like if I tell my story, whatever it is, yeah. What do you like to drive for, Uber or Lyft? You know, not that story, but yeah, I know, not that story, but the story of my life or what fires or
what is the biggest tip you ever got?
$100 bill. I got a $100 bill once. That is my biggest tip.
My biggest tip was I had a lady empty her wallet to me, and it was $78.
I remember that story.
But yes, she's like took everything, and I'm like, "What? You gonna give me? Yep, no, definitely. Here's all of it."
Gosh, so, you were like, I hope there's more than that in there. Like, can you imagine if you pulled out a couple Benjamins?
No, I mean, I'm sure she wouldn't have done it for that.
But, well, what's everyone's tip about getting more tips? Is what is your secret? Mine is just good conversation. Try to connect with the passenger. I mean, not in a BS way, but like try to find where your connection is.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
it's all about relationships, even the short ones.
Yeah.
So do you want me to do the next one?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so here is a what would you do question. I get a 45 plus pickup request in Muskegon. So that's, it's going to be a 45 minutes or longer. I get there, and she has 6 totes and 5 garbage bags with her stuff in it, and she's headed to Kalamazoo. Would you do it?
And by the way, it's 2:30.
2:30 a.m.
Yeah, and Muskegon and Kalamazoo is about an hour and 20 minutes away because it's like 45 from the airport. So
I would do it provided there was no bags or boxes that was wet underneath that would ruin my seat. Sorry, Cece, I had to say it.
Yeah.
That happened to her.
That was a horrible story. But yes, no, I would do it.
I would do it in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
I think this again goes back to Ben, who did the drive to Fenville.
Ben typically is just a lover, so he does free stuff.
No, but I actually did have a ride one time where I definitely moved somebody from hotel room to a different hotel room. That was very, very strange. But yeah, I think I would do it because it's 2:30 in the morning. She's going a long distance. She's got all of her stuff with her. Somebody in the thread said something about she could be a victim of sex trafficking or she has a husband that she's trying to leave. Like, you don't know. So
right.
I, in a heartbeat, would take that
ride. Larry says, Ben's volume is low. Yeah, I don't know if I would do it. I mean, especially at 2:30 in the morning. I mean, a long trip is is fine, but at 2:30 when you're tired, I mean, I don't mind the bags or whatever.
Do we want to talk about my long trip that I turned down, which is still bite myself
No,
over?
we don't. So one thing I wanted to bring up, and Gabe was going to bring up if he was here, he got
Gabe.
Whoa!
And he's hot. Whoa.
Holy cow! He got a long trip request, and it said 45-minute plus on Uber, and it gave the miles in parentheses. So it said 66 miles, and it was right on the money, except they had to do a little detour for construction, so it ended up being 10 more miles. But that's kind of cool because, I've gotten one of that Lyft one said 45-minute plus. It was to Chicago. Right. I mean, come on, guys. Like, that's not even close. Yeah, technically, it's more than 45 minutes, but can we get some sort of heads up? I don't know.
That was my 2:30 a.m. in the morning that I got the Chicago ride, which I ended up turning down, which I still today, like, I don't know why I did that. I should have taken it. It was an XL on a 3.4 surge, and he wanted to give me an extra $100 on top of it.
Why didn't you do it?
I don't know, because I'm an idiot.
I can't believe you still talk about that.
I know, right?
You just can't let it go.
I'm bitter.
So did I talk about my long trip? I think I don't think I talked about Samantha, anyone that was on. Did I talk about? I don't think I did. Because I think it was after the live stream. I think it was that weekend after the May 1st live stream. I got a trip to Chicago, and she calls me right away. I cannot believe I forgot about this. She calls me right away and says, "Hey, I'm going to Chicago." I'm like, "Oh, okay." She goes,
"That's the extra $50, right?"
Yeah. She says, "Thanks for stealing my thunder." She says, "Well, hey, a couple of drivers are canceled. Are you okay going to Chicago?" And I said, "Are you okay paying a little extra for my expenses?" And she goes, "Is that standard?" I said, "No, but that's why 3 drivers have canceled on you, because you're not, it's a long drive home to be in Deadhead." Well, I took the chance, and I took it, and she said she would take care of it. And she did tip me $50. But what's kind of cool about that story is they were 2 strangers getting a ride. They both met in the airport. They both couldn't get to Chicago, and so they said, "Hey, you want to split a lift?" So they split it together, and they were kind of talkative all the way down, and it was kind of great. So Sam says I did not talk about it. Sweet. But no, mine wasn't at 2:30. It was like 9:30, but still almost 3 hours one way and 3 hours back. I didn't get home till like 3:30 in the morning. Everyone fell asleep, so I almost died. No one cares.
Aww.
Foxy says, "Gotta go, boys. Love you so much." Oh man, she loves us. All right, last thing, and then I'll let you guys go. You guys have been awesome tonight.
Yeah, it's been lots of fun.
Do you know what no one answered though? What do they want for a reward on the Patreon account? I saw no. There was one?
On YouTube.
Oh, yeah, the strippers. Yeah. Okay. Last thing, drivers with dash cams. How do you deal with riders who don't like them or want them off?
I haven't had any, but I would say, "Okay, guys, I'm sorry. Then I'll cancel the ride, and you can go. You can leave."
Yeah, I would do that too.
It's for my protection. Why else have the cam?
Right. Some people get so weirded out, and maybe because of people do post stuff. But I mean. Yeah, I've had one person say it, and I'm like, "I'm not going to turn it off." And they said, "Okay, I'm going to cancel." I'm like, "That's cool."
Right.
Now, your Chicago trip, if you get all this extra money, it's XL, would you turn the camera off?
No.
You wouldn't? You would cancel?
Well, but it's why do you have the camera? Right? Why do you have the camera?
For safety.
For safety.
Absolutely. So you would turn that ride down?
What amount of money is good enough for your safety? That's the discussion, right?
No, I totally agree. I wanted to throw that hypothetical out there.
I can think of lots of situations where that amount of money wouldn't have been enough.
Right.
Yeah. What if it's 2 young girls that come up with a story, and now all of a sudden I'm
that's
young,
different. If it's two girls, then yeah, you better have a dash cam. I would not take that ride. But if it's like 2 dudes, 2 businessmen, I don't know.
The only feedback I've had about my camera has all been positive. And I
Yeah.
have had females thank me for having it. So
Right.
Yeah, what about Larry had said something? Because I know he has a new podcast coming out called Lifting with Larry. Check it out on iTunes. The trailer's up there. He said, I've had 2 people that didn't like my camera. I said I'd be happy to cancel. They both stayed. Well, then that's just weird, right? Like, you can cancel. But, yeah, I've had a couple people, but it's not worth it.
Andy actually has a good idea. He said, I'd offer to delete it after the trip in front of them, maybe.
Yeah.
I like that. That's not a bad idea.
Unless you have a black view, and then I don't know how to do it.
Hey, let's not talk down products.
No. I mean, yeah, we won't get into that. So, all right, folks, you guys have been amazing tonight. I am feeling my nose getting stuffy for my allergies, so it's probably a good time to.
CarStar.
What about CarStar?
Do we have to mention CarStar?
No, we don't actually. I do 2 ads.
we did 2 ads and a giveaway.
And the giveaway.
Oh, whatever. Yeah. Okay.
If you need your car fixed, go to CarStar. I mean, Bodywork. There you go.
I think I want to just thank a few people. Andy has been awesome. Thank you so much. You've your feedback and your content tonight. I don't think you've been on before. Has been great. Not that everyone else is great either, but I appreciate Andy's.
It's always great to see new guys.
Yeah, and I feel like he kind of chimes with what were our attitude about driving.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Drive smarter, have a camera. So yeah. Larry says, great show, guys, especially Gabe. Andy says, need to start mailing the prizes. Well, if you sign up for a patron at $5 a month or even $10, we could afford the shipping to ship our prizes away.
Well, and Andy, some prizes we do ship. This was a prize, provided by our sponsor, and this is just the details of the sponsorship.
Yeah. We every once in a while do a T-shirt giveaway and stuff like that. So, thank you guys so much, and we will see you in a couple of weeks. All right, bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
We'll see you later.
Thanks, Gary. So thank you. This is interesting. I appreciate that.